Yo, yo, yo! What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video on this channel. Today we got the winter update patch notes for you, since we have a new update here in Northgard. Most of you probably already heard of it because the Clan of the Owl released in this update. And we also got a few other changes, like the implementation of a matchmaking system and other stuff. And since I couldn't find like any official patch notes around on Steam, I found this flying around on some Discord. So just gonna jump into these patch notes and give you a little bit of an overview what you can expect from the new update, even if you're not too interested in the Clan of the Owl. But I can tell you, pretty interesting clan, in which we today not gonna go too deeply into. Like, I'm gonna explain you a few unique things about the clan, but I think I'm gonna do a more in-depth video tomorrow where we discuss only the Owl clan and what the new things it brings, and what interesting playstyles you can have with it. But today we're mostly gonna focus on the patch notes here. So we're gonna have a little bit of Owl in it, but you can already see right here the Owl paragraph is not super long. So yeah, I'm gonna explain to you a few things that you might be interested in, but we're not gonna go too deep into it. First thing is the Winter Festival is back with this update, which means that on permafrost your villagers will basically build like snowmans and everything. I think the forest trees are has like Christmas stuff on it, right? So they are nicely decorated. A pretty nice map for the season. I think we're probably gonna play these for some community games on my streams. So if you feel like it, you could definitely drop into these too. Pretty nice update. Always love when this stuff comes around. It just like brings some interesting seasonal stuff around. Not the biggest stuff, of course, but I usually think it's quite interesting. So here we are right at the Clan of the Owl already. Clan of the Owl is now available. This is basically the only thing you get right here in the patch notes. The Owl clan is a clan which very, very much is lore based. So you're not gonna build your buildings with wood like you would usually. You build your buildings with lore. Also, you basically spawn with your scout camp, in which you can, I think, Norns. So you can convert Norns, and Norns are basically the scouts for the Owl clan, but they can do other stuff. So they are also able to generate lore for you. And you can imagine if you get the lore rolling relatively soon, you are able to build a lot of buildings relatively quickly, and also lets your eco explode pretty hard. I've played the Owl a little bit in the beta, and I can tell you there's a lot of ways to break the clan because there's a lot of stuff around, and I think the clan is definitely going to be extremely strong. You can see down here, it's just like with the other clans. At the start, we are not able to play this clan in a ranked environment. So right now it's only for fun games or whatever, but you are not able to play this in a ranked environment, basically because they want to see if there are some balance changes that are needing to be made. I'm not fully aware on what the final version of the Owl is that came out now. We're gonna get deeper in that tomorrow when we do the in-depth video about the Owl clan. But right now, just be aware that if you want to play the clan, you cannot play it in ranked right now, but I can tell you it is relatively strong and you should have a pretty good time with it. More on that tomorrow, but now let's check what the other clans can do. What are the other changes in this patch that we are getting right now? First, the Wisdom Victory has been reworked to be more active, because really in team games or anything, it's more like something if you ended up in a stalemate and like at some point somebody would win somehow over lore, or like a line would win with some completely broken lore win, which, like, I don't know, late 802 or something like that. Were pretty insane how quickly the Lion clan could win on lore, or rather faith for this clan. But other than that, not too important, right? Like the most important thing, not really regular that people would win the Wisdom Victory. So The ancestral knowledge blessing can now be unlocked after 9 knowledges and not 15 like usually. Usually it would be like you get all the lores you need for the lore win, and the very last blessing you click would be the ancestral knowledge, and this would lock up the game for you. So as soon as you click the blessing, win screen would pop up, you would get your sweet GP, and yeah, game would be over. Now that changed. Because you don't trigger a victory instantaneously anymore, but you are able to build the monument. The monument must be built and fueled with lore and faith production of the clan to achieve the victory. So it's basically the building that you build up, and then you put lore into it to slowly go up to your win condition. If you want to try it out, probably just jump into the game, play around with it a little bit. Might sound a little complicated. I personally don't think so, but I have an idea how it works. But in the end, should make the lore victory a little bit more achievable. If that's really like that, we're gonna find out in the game, like in the next weeks when the players actually make use of this lore win. Yeah, I personally don't have too strong of an opinion about that because I'm still like more of a rush player, let's say, like a little bit more aggro. But yeah, should definitely make it a little bit more possible for you players out there that enjoy the more slower win conditions and don't want to fight so much and rather be the defending force who tries to like squeeze some other win condition through. So when the construction is completed, the building is revealed to all clans, and the notification informs them of your intention to aim at a Viscum victory, basically like you would have for trade. After the monument is built, all lore production of the clan no longer accumulates to unlock knowledge, but is consumed by the monument. So, gotta keep in mind when you build that thing, there's no way back. Like you built that, and now all your lore goes towards the victory. I think that's very understandable, but pretty much locks you in that moment. And if you didn't went for weaponsmith before, good luck. You're gonna play all the game without weaponsmith. So really watch out that you got all the lores that you really want before you click the ancestral knowledge, because afterwards you're gonna have a big problem. So it will require more or less faith or lore, depending on its distance to the center of the map. So you want to have it as close as possible, so you are more quickly at your lore victory. Makes it more dangerous though, because the further it's away from a main base, obviously the easier it will be for people like me to just like take the tile away from you and reset you back. Gotta keep that in mind. It's a little bit of, yeah, high risk, high reward, low risk, less reward. Let's see. So if the building is destroyed, the lore accumulated is in it is lost, and the building must be built again. So yeah, you're basically reset. You got to start from scratch. Pretty tough, but in the end, should be a little bit easier to achieve, like time-wise. Like before, lore it were pretty tough to win with that because it took that long. Now when you're closer to the center, it goes a little bit quicker. But yeah, still, you are in danger of losing that tile. So your team should be aware of it. Don't just do it for yourself. Because if your team isn't ready and the other team comes in with 3 players and you stand there alone with not that big of an army probably, because you're just going for a wisdom victory, yeah, could be tough, let's say. Interesting rework, let's say. Let's see how that works out, and yeah, should be pretty interesting for the people, for you liking slower victory conditions. So now something that a lot of players have been waiting for. Honestly, like if you know me and have been around the stream for a while, you know I were never really the one who were asking for it, but a lot of people were. So here it is. I hope a lot of people will be happy with it. It worked relatively good in the beta. You always gotta see how it works out when there are more people in there though. And yeah, we have a lobby finder now for ranked and multiplayer games. So new options are available: ranked games and quick games, and those options purpose reduced selections of the game modes by using a lobby finder system to match player in these lobbies. So you basically just click a button, I want to play a team game, click luck, and then you wait, and you see like a little waiting window, seeing how many players are in your lobby and how quickly it fills up. Basically, as soon as all players are in the lobby, you're gonna be kicked not kicked, that would be bad, but you're gonna be brought into a lobby screen. In this lobby screen, you have a certain amount of time. I don't know, it were like mega long. I think like you have a minute or something max to pick your color, pick your clan, get a little bit of an idea of what you want to play with your team. And the teams will already be preset, so you are not able to switch your teams around, like you're already in the team. So yeah, that's basically how it goes. In best case scenario, the lobby finder should actually be able to create fair games. I feel like especially at the start, there might be a few problems with it. I have no clue. Might work absolutely splendid from the start. Maybe Shiro is the first company on Earth who actually gets the ranking system right on the first shot. But usually, it takes a little bit for it to get good. Like Shiro making a few changes to it, getting better and better, and then we should have a pretty good environment in there. Let's hope. Also, what I know, I don't know if that actually made it into the game. It would make sense though. Usually you have a maximum rank spread of 150. So if you go in there and like you have 300 GP, and you have another player with 460 GP looking for a game, you are not going to be matched up because you are too far away from his rank. The longer you wait, the higher the spread goes up though, and you could actually be matched with other players up to a point. Obviously, if you're a wood player, there's a really low chance that you're gonna end up in the lobby with a gold player. I don't even think it's really low. I don't think it's possible. Like the spread is gonna go up a little bit more the longer you wait, so you can actually find the game at some point, so you don't have to wait until I don't know, the next morning. But you're also gonna have a slightly more imbalanced game usually, but only up to a point. Like it's not like you're gonna need to play with like even the gold player probably also don't want to play with the wood player just as much as the wood player doesn't really want to play with the gold player, because the skill level is just way too spread there. But yeah, just so you know. With the addition of the system, the rule prevented of GP loss in case of defeat during the first 10 minutes of a game is removed. This rule has been implemented to prevent win trading, which the system should prevent. So, yeah, so basically if you insta drop out of the game, you will lose GP, if I understand that correctly now. I haven't tested that too much in the beta, honestly, so don't know how that really works. I was happy when I had a game. But how I understand it is that when you drop out of the game, as soon as you are in the lobby, like I think in the lobby you could theoretically still dodge. Don't want to give you any bad ideas here, because if you're locked up for a game, you should obviously play it. But as soon as you are in the game and you drop out, you lose GP. No way around that. Can be tough if somebody of your players doesn't connect. I hope they have some way to work around that. Maybe give them like a minute or something, because losing a game because somebody doesn't connect to a game and then you lose GP for that, it's obviously a bit of a bummer, especially if you actually care about the GPs. Yeah, can be tough. So we have new achievements. Holy moly, all achievements, of course. Now you know how that feels. Attack woodcutters with the Guardian of Realms in a single game. I think there's a number missing, a certain amount of woodcutters. Maybe just check in your Steam achievements how many these actually are. I have no clue. I'm not too deep in the achievement game, let's say. And a little shop of gifts. Give at least 6 knowledges to another clan in a single game. You are able to give clans knowledges right now from you as the Owl clan with like the roots of Yggdrasil. We're gonna get into that a little bit deeper tomorrow, but if you have good relations to a clan, this is actually able, you're actually able to do that. Could be pretty nice, and also works the other way around. Knowledge is power. Gain access to the lore tree of 7 other clans in a single game. So basically you need to have the max amount of people, a huge map, whatever that may be. May it be a free-for-all or a team game, huge team game, 4v4, or a 2v2v2v2. Also be, you need to basically steal a lore from all the other players, while it's not as much as stealing as for the Snake Clan, but more, yeah, just gaining access to it, I guess. So, the Old Guard win by unleashing the realms of power. Basically a new win condition for the Owl clan. Gonna get deeper in that tomorrow. Interesting changes over here with the achievements. Basically, yeah, not too crazy. Obviously, we'll also have like the if you win a game with the owl, you will probably get an achievement, and if you win 50 games with the owl, you will have the owl master achievement. Also, I saw when I logged into the game the first time that the stoat achievements are also in the game now. I don't think there were one before, because when I logged into the game, it were basically going bam, 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 and like a few achievements unlocked. So if you already have these unlocked, you should usually just get them, and you don't need to do them again. There were a few lures where I didn't even know that, like a few achievements that I didn't even know that would be achievements, but they already got locked. I got my silver for it, and now I can buy nothing in the shop from it. Nice. Yeah, if you have enough silver already banked up, you don't really need it anymore, I guess. But yeah, in case you need some, you will get some. So, squirrel achievements, new one. You actually get an achievement now for winning with the Banquet of Valhalla. Very cool. Didn't get anyone for that, even though it's a pretty cool victory condition. Now you can get it. How you go. And this one, Natural Reserve. Have more than 10 natural resources in your territory in a single game. Pretty new, like just an interesting achievement here. Let's see how easy that will be to get. I guess in a single player game it must actually be kind of free, honestly. Just like go for the whole map and you're gonna be fine. But yeah, let's see. Interesting achievement. Now that what most of you are probably interested in, balancing and changes, and you can already see it's not that much. It's not that much. I don't know. You see Snake? Do you see Kraken? I don't see him. I don't see him. So yeah, very, very tame changes, let's say. One is, I guess, pretty important. So the Raven doesn't gain a flat amount of lore when revealing a zone, but it generates a flux of lore when scouting. With sailors or scouts, doesn't really matter. But you won't get like 20 lore for any tile or 30 like straight up. And I hope that it also like turned down a little bit so the Raven doesn't end up hitting his Yurt's Blessing basically in 800. So he upgrades his scouts and goes hard, making pretty aggro games. I personally don't have anything against aggro games. Again, generally pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just having Raven v Ravens all the time can also get a little bit boring because not really matched by any other clan in that sense. So yeah, yes, a pretty good nerf there. So the Stoat were also relatively strong, I heard of a lot of people. So the faith production of subjects has now been decreased to +1 instead of 1.5, making that a little bit slower in the end. Like you're gonna hit your lore slower. Maybe need to have a few more subjects running around or get monks earlier, which will slow down the rest of your eco. So let's see. Crowns and faith levies accumulate 20% slower. Well, that's fair, I guess. Like the gold levies were extremely strong. Usually you will have a how are it called again? A domination, whatever. Like the upgraded tower for your eco. Dominion? I don't know. But yeah, you usually have one for food and you have one for gold, and usually you were just like switching them up, and always when the one were gone you were going for the other one, more or less. There were a little bit of a downtime usually. But their gold one will now be a little bit slower, so therefore this frequency will be a little bit broken. In the end, nerfing it a little bit because you're just like slower on getting out the levies to your teammates, which I think were the strongest thing for the Stoat clan, that you are able to give out the levies to your teammates. So, faith levies no longer boost the production on subjects. Yeah, that were a little bit broken. Like if you went for the faith levy and then basically take all your subjects and bring them home, you could accumulate pretty stupid amounts of lore, and if you then pull them into the tower where the levy is actually going, I think it's extra boosting. But I think it's only extra boosting specialized people, right? I might be wrong about that. Maybe it actually boosts them and it would be completely bollocks. But right here, just not boosting them anymore, so we're not able to get like stupid amount of faith in a very, very short time frame. I think that could also collide with the new lore victory. Like if you're able to get that much faith and you already have like your lore building in the middle, more or less, you could win in an extremely short time. And I think that should be worked against with this change over here. And we have the horse. Horse excavation now generates lore for every ore mined by the clan, not just the war chiefs, but it also works on dwarven operatives or the ironwood of the owl clan, for example. So there's a way for the owl clan to build a root of Yggdrasil on your tile. The owl clan does that a whole lot, like you're always building roots on all these different tiles. Yet again, we talk about it tomorrow more. And one of these is able to mine resources for you, basically. And with this, you also get lore for it. So you basically don't get a downgrade or more like a numbo, let's say, right? An anti-combo. That I always said that the Raven and the Eagle, for example, is an anti-combo. Because the Raven just scouts the whole map, like you see everything instantly, and then your caches for the Eagle clan spawn like so far away that you can never reach them. So I always found that this is like a stupid combo. It doesn't really work. Other people showed me differently, like that they can work together relatively well. I always thought like, I don't know, I would rather prefer playing in the different clan when I play with Raven, for example, like Wolf or Lynx, that don't directly collide with this and doesn't make like a very, very important clan mechanic just kind of useless, right? What does it help me when my cache spawns in a giant tile? Yeah, it's just like a dead cache. I can never take it. So, weren't the biggest fan of that. And with Raven, you were very, very bound to run into this rather sooner than later. We have the general changes, and the general changes are pretty big. We've made changes to address the current rush meta and making rushing a less optimal strategy. And I have a little bit of a fear that this will kill rushing in the end, which means, yeah, playing eco is just extremely strong. All the eco clans will come out, and the rush clans are more or less like, yeah, screw those, let's get him away. I don't know. I'm personally not the biggest fan of sitting like 20 to 30 minutes in front of each other and then afterwards deciding to actually play attack the player in a multiplayer game. I'm more of somebody, like if I play a multiplayer game, I would rather like collide with the other players sooner than later. And with the supply mallows, which now also impacts defense in addition to attack power, plus the max value is now 20%, but when overcapping max warband, the supply minus malice is 2 times stronger. So you cannot switch camps anymore, you know? Oftentimes you would have 3 camps on one tile and then you switch it over to your teammate. That's not possible like that anymore, because you will end up with a 40% debuff of that. Hard to say. Like, this being decreased to 20% sounds nice, sounds good, but in the end, defense is really big in Northgard, and especially on your early game military units, having 20% less defense means sometimes, like, for example, an X-Thrower has 4 defense, I think, right? Like 4 defense, 4... My god, no, I forgot the word. Let's say defense. The word is different. But you now end up with minus 20%. Minus 20% of 4 is not 1, it's 0.8. So you only have 3.2. Nice. Cool. So you're basically a villager at that point. You're basically a villager. So you die like no one's business. I don't know. Pretty tough. I don't know. We'll see how it actually works out in game. If I'm just overreacting here a little bit and it's not actually that bad. But if rushing is actually dead, that would be a little bit of a, yeah, I don't know, a downside for me. I like these slower games of Northgard too. It's nothing... Like, not like we would completely hate them, but having no rush in game and everybody just sitting in front of each other and basically like twisting thumbs until the 25-minute mark is over and we can actually attack with 15 warriors now. I don't know. Yeah, everyone their own cup of tea. Might not really be mine. I hope that is still possible somehow. So, scouts have a new ability. After you discovered the enemy frontiers, even if your scout camp is not upgraded, you can assign your scouts to the frontier to see through the fog and get information on the enemy territories. This won't discover the zone or allow you to enter the territory, but just gives you temporary information. So when you have your scouts out and you see like the enemy tile, the enemy border, it's not like you cannot right-click your scout onto them. Like before it says, you need to upgrade your scout camp. And other than that, it's just like, yeah, you cannot do anything. Now you can send your scout to the border. It basically, as soon as it reaches the enemy tile and would start scouting normally, it will now reveal the tile for the time the scout is actually there. So you can see what is going on in there. What did they do? Oh my god, it's 3 war camps. Okay, they will probably rush me. No, it's an upgraded farm and an upgraded silo in 801. Yeah, they're playing the slow game. Let's rush them. Whatever, you know? Like, you get more informations on that. How much this is actually going to be used is hard to say. I can definitely imagine in, like, higher level games to basically go quickly there and get the information I just told you. And I think it also discovers the zones around? No, I think it's only the zone that you scout there. I had a feeling that it were like the tile that you were seeing and the ones around that, but I might be wrong with that. Let's say it's only the tile that you see and I just remember it wrong. So, a new rule has been added to the 3v3 fair map generation to make sure ally and enemy town hall are at a minimum distance of 6 zones. Yeah, sure. That's another change that you gotta like put up here with the supply mallows. You don't have any small maps anymore where rushing is more or less incentivized because you are that close together. Now you have like a minimum distance combined with the supply mallows now being a little bit harder. That could be really like the death sentence for any 801 plays or harassments or whatever, because yeah, you're basically just fighting against the wall because they have the absolute defense bonus and you just need to wait for the game to go until 802, 803 until you can actually do something, because before you're just gonna be shredded by a relatively small army because you have no defense and your attack is also relatively low, so who knows. So, a new rule has been added to the 1v1 fair map generation to make town halls at a minimum distance of 5 zones. Same thing, just smaller map. You get where I'm coming from. The minimum number of building slots per zone is now 3, except swamps. Previously 2. Where's that the difference? Like, swamps were always 2. What else were 2 building slots? I think you can't build buildings in high grass, right? Does that mean you can build buildings in high grass? I don't think it is. No. On unfair maps, so unbalanced maps, you oftentimes would end up with 2 tiles or 1 tiles where you can only build 1 building or 2 building on it. Would be nice if this would be gone completely, because no one likes these, and yeah, there's no upside, let's say, right? There's only downsides. It can make games, yeah, pretty unfair, and it can just be very, very frustrating, man. If you like go into a free-for-all game and you end up with like two tiles and maybe a 1 tile, you could basically already take your head and put it on the wall and leave the building more or less. Yeah, because you were screwed. So now makes it a little bit easier. Sheeps reduce firewood by 30%, so sheeps got even more insane, disincentivizing you from killing them instantly. If you get baited by that, joke's on you. Endgame lore now stats the current log of lore, so you can see when lore is consumed. For lion, owl, you can check the faith lore spent to recruit units or build buildings in addition to knowledge unlocked. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically more information on lore. Definitely gotta check that out myself, because I didn't really know about that change all too much, to be honest. Like, sounds interesting, especially like how much faith got spent on military units would be quite interesting for me, because you really had no indication on that other than like just seeing the faith of the line going straight down. which more or less already told you, like, he had to get army with that, right? Where does the faith go anyway? I can't tell you, but so we see. So, a new game stats show the lore produced specifically toward the victory monument. Yeah, just shows you how much lore got put into the victory until the tile gets taken again, and then it go up again, and then the tile gets taken again. So yeah, you can imagine what's going on, and you can see how much lore a player actually produced, even though he lost it a few times, right? Might be a quite interesting thing to know. The Gods' Wisdom victory now requires the Swords of the Gods and unlock 15 knowledge to be achieved. Gods' victory? Wisdom victory? Weren't that the... No, that's the Sword of whatever, right? Where you forge the sword for the middle and then afterwards you win. Isn't that like the Sword of Gods? No. Might be a new victory condition. If you know more about that, put that down below. Like with alternative victory conditions, I'm not the strongest there, especially on the newer things that comes out, since I'm more of a player that likes to aggro and like having some fights going on. But yeah, change it. And seems wild. 50 knowledges, might as well just go for the lore victory at that point, innit? Might be wrong, who knows. AI difficulty has been changed. AI behaviors have been reworked and updated to be more consistent, more challenging, and especially at higher levels of difficulty. I think they're doing that for all the time already, right? Getting it more and more. I've played against the AI not too long ago and already thought, yeah, this AI is definitely behaving a lot different than I were used to, seeing. In the end, you should still be able to bait it around and everything. I don't think there's an actual like small micro going on in there. So if you want to exploit it, there's probably still ways to exploit it. But especially for newer players against AI, it makes it feel a little bit more than you're playing against an actual player. Like back in the days, the AI would literally send like villager in your 10 army and you just kill one by one and in the end they just die. I think nowadays they actually like group up at the side of the tile and then they run all in at the same time, how an actual player would kind of do it, but yeah, makes it just feel more like an actual game and not like you would be playing against some bot who doesn't know what they're doing. We have a bunch of bug fixes. I will skip these because, yeah, there's just a lot of them. If you want to see them, just, pause the video if you want so. And you can check them out. A lot of small stuff going around. I don't think anything too important, but if there's something that you've been waiting for, maybe check the list and you find something that you were waiting for. And we still have some known issues, like some text might miss localization. The spooky town hall skins appeared as upgraded from the start, but it's just a visual. So yeah, if you have a spooky town hall, I think you... Where did you get that again? Where did the Halloween event? I don't know. There's a way to get a spooky town hall and it just looks like it would be upgraded. Will be changed at some point. So, as Owl, if you place a Seed of Guardian building in the territory of a neutral faction, you're friendly with it, they will still attack it. Okay. Okay, yeah. That's like one of the roots of Yggdrasil that we're gonna get into more deeper. And yeah, seems to be a weird bug, will be gone soon. As dragon animation of ships delivering thralls during Frozen Sea event is glitched, probably also on other ship animations for raids, militias, and elves. Yeah, if they don't know, I don't know either. Yeah, that's it. So, a little bit of a recap here. I think the Owl clan will be a pretty interesting clan right now. I guess relatively strong. Might still need a lot of like tweaking until it's actually ready to go onto the beta, onto the like full ranked mode, and yeah, whatever you want to play with it. Yeah, should be an interesting clan. If you want to know more about that, just stay tuned for the video tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that a lot more. But for now, my reasoning is yeah, it's pretty cool. Wisdom victory, I'm not like super interested in that. If that gets more important, I will definitely have a little bit of a look into it. I will definitely try it out, how the new one works. Maybe it gets a little bit more interesting than basically just putting all you have on eco, go for the guardian tree and hope that you don't die while you go for it. Maybe there's actually a little bit more gameplay in it with, now you need to build a building and, you have a cost. Before, like, you just go for lores, right? Like, even if your opponent stops you from like instantly going for it, you would still have your 90% lore. Like, even if they went fully for your territory, killed all your lore masters, but didn't manage to kill you, you would just go on because you have the 90% already and you can't keep it up. That's why lore victory were always a little bit toned down. Now with the building, you have a little bit more gameplay going on, actually building it somewhere, having like high risk, high reward system, and being able to lose it, and then also having actually having lost it, you know, like you need to start from scratch and not like just from the point that you were before on, might actually also lead to you not getting killed afterwards in a free-for-all game, because they thought, okay, this danger has been dealt with, now we can start slapping each other again until this guy is on a lore victory again. Something like that, who knows. Lobby finder rank game, I'd say it's nice to have. I personally weren't really like too, don't want to say hyped. Like, it's pretty cool, right? I don't have anything against it, but I didn't think that were like a super important thing that we definitely need, because I think the lobby system were already fine. But now having it in the game, especially with so many players asking for it, should be cool. I hope the players have a great time with it, and I hope me too, of course. And yeah, that they're happy that they finally have their implementation. It's basically like me with the spectator mode, right? Even though I'm not really doing too much content with it right now. Trying to get more out of it though, and yeah, there were my big change where I were extremely hyped right here. Yeah, okay, can be nice. I'm cool with it. Hope that everybody is happy with it, and I hope that it's so good that I'm also yeah, very cool with using it and not really proceduring to just like play ranked games, which I hope that I can still play in lobbies. I'm not too sure about that. Achievements, not too important. Balancing, lackluster, let's say, right? There's like so many clans that haven't been touched and which are absolutely broken. Raven having it a little bit turned down, yeah, it's pretty cool. The horse, I'm not really sure. I would rather say that's it's more or less like a bug, right? It's a bug, I would say. Like, you, yeah, I don't know. You could say it's a little bit of a buff for the horse clan. I think the horse clan got a huge nerf with having his war chiefs being so weak. But right now, just watch what Kraken can do when it clocks 802. Like, Kraken will just run towards you with like 18 army, 19 army, you know? Like, not even close to what any other clan can do. Like, maybe a few other clans are able to do that. Or Snake Clan being able to run into your base with 12 army at late 801. Like, I don't know if these, like, in the end, they can go for the approach, like, every clan is overpowered, so nothing is overpowered, but right now you have a few clans being at the top, more or less being unbeatable, and you have, like, a few clans just being at the bottom, and if you play them, yeah, if you're at the higher level, basically, people are just gonna say, yeah, if you don't want to win, right, then do it like that. It's basically like playing no limit hold'em poker, and you just play with one card. Yeah, if you want to do that, good luck, I guess. So, other than that, supply malice changes. I hope they didn't kill rushes. If they actually did that, I'm gonna be sad, very, very sad. And yeah, feel like the games are gonna be a little bit more time consuming, let's say, and yeah, maybe they want to get the game more into a 4x4, is that not 4x4? 4x, that's it. Games where you basically yeah, play the games a little bit slower. I've always seen Northgard a little bit more in the RTS section more than in the 4x, because you have like, basically it is an RTS, and yeah, in these I like a little bit more action relatively earlier. Like, if I play my 4x, I have no problem with it, that the game is a little bit slower, let's say. A few years before I would have said, yeah, 4X has like way more branches in which you can split out in the game, right? You have like supply lines which can be extremely long, which are extremely deep and everything, and Northgard didn't have that much of it, so I felt like going into a 4X direction. I don't know if that is like the best thing you can really do, but right now you have a lot more systems, so I feel like you're not gonna be bored in the time that is happening. But yeah, like I said, like I personally like to just like fight with another player, have something going on, and I feel like with the supply lines, debuffs, and the new map generation, that it's always 6 zones. Can be tough, but that is a very subjective opinion, so yours might be different, and that's all right. That's absolutely all right. That's just my opinion here, and yeah, I like, who cares? Who am I? So I think with that, we're done with the patch note review here. I hope you got your infos out of here that you wanted. Yeah, stay tuned for the video tomorrow to know a little bit more about the Owl clan. I'm trying to get on it relatively soon, so we have a quite nice video for tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did so, remember to click that like button down there, man. Good. Yeah, come on. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Thanks for watching and see you around. Bye bye.